For the last 4 years, Wrexham have been on an incredible rise after getting back-to-back promotions to League One. And they're showing no signs of slowing down as they're second in League One after 11 games. And with the backing of Hollywood duo Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, it really does make you wonder how far the Red Dragons can go. But that's where I come in, as for the next 10 years, I'm taking over Wrexham. The goal is to climb the ladder of English football, win as many trophies as possible, and make them Europe's most dominant club. But the transfer and takeover wheel are about to make my life with the Red Dragons either way easier or basically impossible. So this is the team we've loaded into in season 1 of this takeover, ladies and gents, and I think we've got a bit of potential already. They've got former Arsenal keeper Arthur Okonkwo, only 22 years old with a bag of potential. There's Max Cleworth, only 21 but 63 overall. A couple of loan spells out, he could turn into a bit of a beast. And there's right back Luke Bolton, one of our best defenders and only 24 years old himself. But one thing we're going to have to introduce to Wrexham is a bit of youth talent, because the average age of our highest rated players right now isn't looking too good. I mean, in a couple of years, most of these players are going to reach their peak. But one bit of good news, guys, nobody at this team is on loan to us right now. Every single player at Wrexham is our player. And there's 2 million in our budget to kick season 1 off, guys, but we all know by now it's not that simple. Because whilst we're not a Premier League side, every season we will be spinning the transfer wheel, and that will tell me how many transfers I'm allowed to make. But once we're a Premier League side, the takeover wheel will quite literally take over, and from there on, that will make our life at Wrexham completely unpredictable. So now it's just a question of how long is it going to take for us to get Wrexham from League One to the promised land in the Prem? Well, guys, we're about to find out, as the first thing we're going to do is mess with the tactics, and I'm going custom with the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow with a balanced build-up style and balanced defensive approach. It's a bit different than how I usually set them up, as these are our player tactics. As you can see, it changes from a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow to a 5 at the back, and I feel like this is going to absolutely torment League One sides. And whilst that is a little bit scummy, I fully believe they're going to work. I mean, if it doesn't, we'll mess around with it, but right now I'm quite happy with how we're set up. And this is, in my opinion, our strongest team heading into season 1. Obviously, there's so much work to do to make Wrexham one of the world's best teams, but this is a solid start. I mean, we've got Paul Mullen, the legend himself, in the team, ladies and gents. What more can we ask for up top? But we do have this 2 million to spend, guys, so the question is, where should we put it? Well, for once, guys, I'm actually going to opt out of improving our backline and keeper. I feel like our defensive 4 and keeper should be left alone for at least 1 year. So that just leaves our midfield to mess with, along with our strikers, but we haven't spun that transfer wheel yet, so I'm not going to get ahead of myself just yet. So with that being said, let's spin the transfer wheel for season number 1. Okay, a modest 2 transfers. I mean, it's not good, it's not bad, it's in the middle. This does now mean, though, wherever we put that money in this team, we're going to have to be pretty strategic about it. 2 transfers can only go so far. And for that reason, I'm leaving our strikers alone. Fall and Mullen will do a half-decent job up top, in my opinion. So with that being said, I'm going to improve our midfield with Andy Cannon to start off with. I mean, he's almost 30 years old. I don't see him improving much more as a player in that time. And I want a better cam than Elliot Lee. I know he's 67 rated, and I know he's one of Wrexham's strongest players. However, long term, he's not going to be good for us. But we've only got 2 million to spend, remember, guys, so whoever we bring in, they can't be that expensive. Which is exactly why I have just spent 740,000 on attacking midfielder Alexis Fariña. I know he's not the best player in the world, but he's 19 and showing great potential already. I feel like long term he's going to turn into one of the best in the world. Which leaves us 1 million in total on a centre midfielder, and I've found one, and we might just be able to afford him. As I want to sign Felix Kydal. He's only 21, he's already a decent player at his age, and judging by his stats, I feel like he'll absolutely kill it in League One. And just like that, our transfer window's done us for 800,000. Felix Kydal signed for Wrexham on a 5-year deal. But on the flip side of the transfer window, I will be loaning out quite a few players. Some of them I'm doing just to get rid of for a couple of years. The other half I'm doing just because I know there's potential there, but they don't quite fit into the team yet. As this is the starting team we are going into season 1 with, guys. I know it's nothing amazing just yet. It's still a work in progress, but there's no way in hell we get our backsides handed to us. There's simply too much quality in this team for a League One side. I feel like a mid-table finish is definitely on the cards, but for me, I'd be happy with a top 10 finish. And guess what, guys? I'm happy. We are top 10 with Wrexham in our first season in charge, only 7 points outside the playoffs. Now, this is a good start, guys. If this is what we're doing in season 1, next year we should be fighting for promotion. No FA Cup glory, though, with the Red Dragons, as Swindon knocked us out in round 2. And no Carabao Cup either. I feel like trophies-wise, we shouldn't have too many expectations for a good while. As Doncaster knock us out of the BSM trophy in round 3. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. But I am happy with how this team looks, guys. I mean, there's a couple of players I am seeing already that we can try and build this team around. Both George Dobson and Arthur Okonkwo, for example, 2 of our strongest players at the minute. Felix Kardal's had a good year, so has Alexis Favrinia and Mo Fall, to be fair, and we all know how good he can become. But to be fair, looking at the stats, they're not that impressive at all. This is something that we can work on, though. But the good news is, as a newly promoted team, remember, Wrexham are just outside the playoffs, which means if that transfer wheel's on our side next year, we could be in the playoff position this time next season. But we do have to figure out where we are going to spend our money on this team next year, man. If we are serious about promotion, we definitely need to get that part right. And whilst I've got your attention, guys, if you're enjoying this video so far with Wrexham, drop this vid a big old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button if you're new. Okay, guys, season 2 is here, and we're kicking things off with the... Come on, give me more than 2 transfers, Will, for God's sake. I mean, we've got 5 mil in our budget, ladies and gents. That would have been perfect for 3 transfers, but it looks like we're going to have to settle once again for 2. The question is now, though, where do we actually put that money? Because 5 million spending on this team in the right way gets us promotion. I kind of want to leave our midfield and strikers alone. Last year, I feel like they did really well. I am thinking about replacing our centre-backs, though. Scar and O'Connell, both 30 and 29 years old. I don't feel like they've got much in the tank left to give us in terms of improving. And if we spend this 5 million correctly on those 2 centre-backs, that's that position sorted for at least 2 or 3 years. So that's exactly what I did by spending 1.8 million on Ousmane Kamara. Already a fantastic player at 22 years old, standing at 6'6" as well. This guy's a brick house. And so's his centre-back partner, who's basically the same player as him, just a little bit quicker and a little bit shorter. And just like that, our transfer window's done after spending 1.9 million on Yelana Cow. But once again, I'm loaning a few players out just to make sure that the players I want to get game time actually do get the game time. But here is the team going into season 2, and I honestly feel like promotion is in our grasp this year. We just need to take it. And I think we might have, you know, because these stats are looking far better than last year. Mullen and Fall especially, they've really stepped their game up. And the team on paper looks so much better. That is actually a mid-table championship side ready to be one. But if we're going to get promoted, we're going to do it the difficult way. We are in the playoffs alongside Oxford, Barnsley and Blackpool. 5 points away though from automatic promotion. That's bloody gutted. But it might not matter as we beat Blackpool in the semis and we're playing Barnsley in the final. The question is though, are we staying as a League One side or are we actually getting promoted? We've beaten Barnsley 2-1. We've won our first trophy with the Red Dragons and we are now a championship team. That is amazing. That only took us 2 years to do as well. But I did just say this team is a championship side waiting to be one, and guess what? I was bang on the money. Still no FA Cup glory though, as Arsenal knock us out this time. And Carlisle knocked us out straight away in the Carabao Cup. And Stoke knock us out of the BSM trophy. One way or another in FC25, I will eventually win this competition. But we need to forget about that. We need to focus on the championship, because looking at the teams that just about finished mid-table, ladies and gents, this is not going to be an easy ride next year. But if both the budget and the transfer wheel are on our side next year, ladies and gents, we could take this team and get back-to-back promotions with them. So we're going to kick season 3 off by spinning the wheel. Oh my God, that's not what we wanted. No transfers for our first year as a newly promoted team in the championship. We'd have had 5 million to spend as well, man. Oh, that couldn't have come at a worse time. Don't get me wrong, I think this team is solid, but we defo could have done with improving it. But there is a small bit of good news, guys. The average age of our highest rated players is far younger than it was 3 years ago, which means that all the players we've got in our team right now do have a lot of room for improvement. So hopefully by the end of season 3, we'll be looking at a far better team than the one we're currently looking at, which hopefully will mean as well we'll do half decent in the championship. championship. And you know what? I'll defo take this. We are mid-table and actually not too far away from the playoffs. It really does make you wonder what we could have accomplished this year had we actually been able to sign some players, man. This is a great step in the right direction, though. As for the FA Cup, Middlesbrough knock us out straight away. And we get knocked out straight away in the Carabao Cup as well. But I'm not being funny. Looking at this team, I feel like we've underperformed, if that's even possible. We're definitely a little bit better than just 13th in the championship. But the stats aren't that impressive, to be fair. Mo Farrell got 17 and 1, Paul Mullen got 13 and 4, and Alexis Fariña only got 10 goal contributions himself. To be fair, maybe Mo Farrell and Paul Mullen might have to be replaced in order to take Wrexham to that next level. You could also say we need a better left back, a better centre back, a better centre midfielder. To be honest, we're still nowhere near Premier League ready. But hopefully next year we're actually able to make signings, and if that is the case, I will make sure that next year we're defo competing for promotion. So as we enter season 4, guys, let's see if we actually... Oh my god, this wheel does not like me today. 1 transfer? Are you taking the mick? This is actually nuts. We've only been allowed 5 transfers in 4 years. Let that sink in. I suppose the good news is, though, we've got 5 mil to spend on 1 player. But the question is, what on earth do we do? I mean, when you look at the team, there's still so much work that needs doing to it. 1 transfer isn't going to fix all of this. But I've made my mind up on what I'm doing, guys. And you Wrexham fans aren't going to like this. Paul Mullen is going to get replaced. His time in the starting 11 is up. And with this 5 million, I'm going to do my absolute best, not only find a short-term replacement for him, I'm going to try and find a long-term replacement. And guys, I think I've just found one, you know, Ilyas Ansah, only 22, a very good striker, 6'4". This guy's a brick house. And there we go, £3.8 million later, our transfer window is done. But is he going to help us fight for promotion, or is there simply just too much work to do in this Wrexham side for that to happen yet? There's too much work, guys. We are 12th in the championship this time, a long way away from the playoffs. Honestly, that wheel has completely shafted us the last couple of years, man. If it shafts us again next year, we're toast. But this time we did really well in the FA Cup, making it to round 5. But Brentford knocked us out of the Carabao Cup in round 2. And I wish I could say I'm happy with this team right now, but I'm really not. It's nowhere near as good as I want it to be at this stage in the takeover. The stats have improved, though, to be fair. Mo Farrell stepped up to the plate, getting 30 goal contributions, but apart from him, nobody really stood out. The problem is, guys, in order for us to get promotion, we do need to improve this team in certain areas, like a new left back, a new centre back, a new centre midfielder. But we need both the budget and the wheel to be on our side next season, otherwise we're going to be stuck in the championship for yet another year. So fingers crossed, guys, in season 5 we finally get lucky. Thank God for that. We can finally make some signings, 3 to be exact. But we've only been given 3 million to spend. For God's sake, Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool 3 was a massive success. Surely you can't spare us a bit of change. It looks like, guys, we're going to have a bit of a clear up, because with 3 million, we can't use that money effectively and make 3 signings. So I've stuck all of these players on the transfer list. I said we're having a clear out, and I bloody meant it. And hopefully, once all's said and done, this 3 million will turn into about 10, and we can finally start making some real changes to the Red Dragons. And here we go, guys. All of the players on the transfer list have indeed been sold, and all together right now we've got a good chunk of money to spend. 13 million to be exact. That means we can now sort our left back, our centre back and centre midfielder problem out. And guys, I'm not messing around, as I've just spent 3.5 million on fullback Tommaso Ferrari. He's only 23 and he's already 73 rated. I reckon give him a couple of years, he'll turn out to be a baller. I've also just spent 3.2 million on centre back Emmanuel Barbosa. He's only 21 and already a very good centre back, and hopefully we can get the best out of him. And that leaves us 7 mil to work with, which might just be enough to afford our 3rd and final signing, who's going to be Bosun Lawal from Stoke, only 25 and 75 rated. He's got perfect stats as well for that box-to-box midfielder that we're after. And there we go, £5 million later, he's now a Wrexham player, which wraps up our transfer window. And looking at the state of the starting 11, for the first time in a while, I can not only say I'm happy with how it looks, I'm confident about how we can do in the championship. Don't get me wrong, I know there's still a lot of weaknesses in this team, but this season we've taken a step in the right direction. I'm just hoping that the 3 signings that we've made this year are going to make a difference this season, otherwise we are going to spend more time in the championship than I want to. But guys, this might be the year we get promoted. We are in the playoffs alongside Hull City, West Brom and Coventry, and we're into the final after beating Hull City on penalties. Oh my god, this is 5 years in the making, guys. Can we finally do it? We've done it! We're in the Premier League with Wrexham. The Red Dragons are finally in the top flight of English football. My days, we didn't do it the easy way though, did we? 6th in the Championship, and then we do it via the playoffs. Thank god we finally done it though. We've even made it to round 6 of the FA Cup this year, and we made it to round 3 of the Carabao Cup. And by the looks of this team, everything has gone our way this year, man. Everybody looks so much better. And just look at these stats, man. 32 and 9 for Mo Fall, 28 and 16 for Ante, 19 and 7 for Bosun Lawal, and 8 and 10 for Alexis Fariña. I mean, Mo Fall and Ilias Ante were both the top scorer and the second top scorer in the league. Fair play. But we can't get ahead of ourselves because we're now going to be playing in the Premier League. And by the looks of the table this year, it is definitely not going to be easy considering Brighton are the best team in it. But from now on, we're no longer dealing with the transfer wheel. Because we're a Premier League side now, we will be dealing with the takeover wheel. But let me tell you, if that takeover wheel is just as nasty to us as the transfer wheel was, we're going to have a rough last 5 years of this takeover. But here we are, guys, season 6 with Wrexham, and one way or the other, we can finally say that they are in the Prem. But we haven't got that promotion money. 30 mil is all we've got. I'm telling you what, Deadpool is a cheapskate. And there's still so much work that needs doing to this team before we can at least be competitive in the Premier League. But the thing is, we're no longer dealing with the transfer wheel, we're dealing with the takeover wheel, so that could go either really well for us or really badly. So without further ado, let's spin the wheel to see what's in store for us in Season 1. +5, what's this? All your starting 11 players get a +5 in their rating. Phenomenal! I mean, just look at the team now. We've gone from a Premier League side who's going to just about scrape survival to doing pretty damn well. And because the wheel didn't say anything about not making signings, we've got 30 million to still spend. And despite him improving by 5 ratings, I think I'm going to replace Oliver Rathbone. I'm going to sell him on because he's now 80 overall, get as much money as possible, and then go in for his replacement. And just like that, off the trot, I think we just got around 14 million for him, and he's going to Montpellier. And now we've got 41 mil to spend on basically whoever we want, but we're going to put all of that into a brand new centre midfielder. And I've found the player for the job, guys. Lewis Miley, only 23 and already that good. He's the perfect box-to-box midfielder. And just like that, for 33.5 million, we've signed him on a 5-year deal to wrap up this transfer window. Now, I'm still aware there's a lot of work to do to this team before we make them the world's best team, but improving everybody's overall by 5 and signing Lewis Miley is a great step in the right direction. Granted, our subs bench is absolutely shocking at the minute, but at some point we will be able to address this. But looking at the team now, it is by a mile the best we've ever had it, so hopefully that will be enough for us to do pretty damn well in the Prem. But guys, we didn't do well at all. We had a stinker. We just about survived the Prem. And that's with everybody in the team having a 5 overall improvement. Oh my god, that wheel actually saved us from getting relegated this year. We also had a stinker in the FA Cup as Luton knocked us out. And Brighton battered us in the Carabao Cup. But looking at the team, guys, something just isn't adding up. How is that team almost getting relegated? I mean, as you probably imagine, the stats aren't amazing, but they're not exactly that bad either. I don't know, man. We need to figure something out and figure it out quickly because a team this good should be nowhere near the relegation zone. But guys, we got bad news. As we enter Season 7, we've only got 16 million to spend. That is actually atrocious. And that's nowhere near enough to do what I wanted to do with this team, which is improve this backline, because in actual fact, you can go and check this if you don't believe me. This team conceded the most out of the entire Premier League last season. But 16 mil isn't going to let us do anything, man. We need to offload a lot of damn players, but only if the wheel allows us to. So with that being said, let's see what the wheel has for us in season number 7. Caught cheating. Oh, for God's sake, you know the drill. Transfer. I actually hate the takeover wheel. It times it perfectly to screw me every single time. So it's true, this 16 million is quite literally worthless because we can't do a damn thing with it. I'm actually quite nervous for this campaign, man. This team very nearly got themselves relegated last year, for goodness sake. But there's literally nothing I can do apart from hope and trust they can get the job done on the pitch. And you know what? Credit where credit's due, they actually pulled it out the bag this time. We're 15th in the league. I mean, Man United are 13th. 13th, only 2 places above us, so we can't be too harsh on them. But we can be harsh with them in the FA Cup, because Rotherham knocked us out in round 3. And Leeds knocked us out in the Carabao Cup. Honestly, are we ever going to win either of these competitions? I mean, on paper, we're certainly good enough. I don't understand how we're so close to the bottom half of the table with so many good players in the team. To be fair, though, the stats, once again, aren't exactly amazing, are they? Maybe it's something to do with the tactics. I'm changing it up for Season 8, guys. I'm going to go counter-attacking with a much deeper defensive line. Maybe playing on the counter-attack will better suit how we play. But in order for this to work properly, we desperately need to add some quality to this team. I mean, the defensive lineup defo needs improving. We need a better CDM because George Dobson's 33 years old now. What a legend he is, by the way, coming in clutch till the end. But for this to happen, guys, we need that wheel to be on our side, and judging by how it's been with us since this video started, I'm not holding my breath. But you never know, guys. With the new season, you can always hope, can't you? Okay, Deadpool 4. What's this? Marvel are making another Deadpool movie, so you're getting 250 mil added to your budget. That's amazing. Oh my god. Finally, this wheel is coming clutch for us. We've now got 270 million to spend. Ladies and gents, if we do not get at the very least Champions League football this year, there's something wrong now. Because you better believe I'm using that money to transform this team into one of the world's best. And the way to do that is by first improving our defense, which is why Tino Livramento is going to be signing for us, almost 13, 85 rated. Joining him, though, is a bit of a wild card, Francesco Fiori from PSG, 21, already 83 rated, but he's an exciting prospect, and that's why I'm going to sign him. And just like that, for 89.3 mil combined, we've sorted our fullbacks out. And now it's time to sort our centre-backs out, and I found Mario Giller from the Ball Jobs, 30 granted, but he's 85 overall and his contract's expiring. I can't say no to a guy like this. I'm also signing Daniel Fisher, only 19 and 83 rated. This guy looks like an absolute monster. And there we go, for the combined total of 17.5 million, our back four is finally sorted. And an added bonus, we've actually got depth on our bench because the first team players that have been replaced have been dropped there. But we do still need to replace Dobson. Luckily though, I have found the perfect player for the job. As I have found Nico Gonzalez from City. Granted, he's almost 30, but look at his stats, man. Not only could he do a job as a CDM, he could be a great box-to-box midfielder. And £46.5 million later, he now plays for us. But we still got 39 million to spend, man. We're legitimately loaded still. And whilst the starting 11 is genuinely world class now, I think it's time to focus our attention on the bench, primarily better midfielders and better attackers. So I'm going to sign all 3 of these players: Zeki Amdouni for our second choice striker, Casey McAtee for our backup winger, and Ahmed Traore for our backup attacking midfielder. And that wraps up our transfer window, as for 32.8 million combined, all 3 of these players now play for us. And just look at how many players we've actually signed this year, man. It has been long overdue for something like this to happen. Let's put it this way, guys. If this Wrexham side this year gets anywhere near that relegation zone, I'm going to be worried, because there's literally nothing more I could have done. Guys, it's official. I'm worried. We are only 12th in the league, despite spending over £250 million on Wrexham. I genuinely don't know what more we've got to do. The Premier League this year is insanely tough. I mean, we didn't win the FA Cup, no surprise there. And Southampton knocked us out of the Carabao Cup. Which, when you've got a team this good, just should not be happening, man. I genuinely don't know where we're going wrong here. I mean, is it the formation? Is it something to do with the tactics? I genuinely don't understand, because this should not be happening. The thing is, our 2 strikers are doing their job up top, so it's nothing to do with them. It's just the rest of the bloody team not doing theirs. I do think, depending on the wheel next year, we will be using a different formation, because quite frankly, guys, we've been using this for 8 years, and the last 4 have been terrible. So let's see what Season 9 actually gives us. I mean, we need a miracle here, game changer. Oh my god, we might have got one. Make a player of your choice, 99 rated. And it didn't say anything about not spending any money, so we've got 43 mil at our disposal. The question is, though, who on earth do we make 99 rated out of these players, man? Because any one of them could be a game changer. Maybe Nico Gonzalez is a shout. I mean, he's 86 overall, but having a 99 rated CDM in the middle of the pot could make all the difference. Maybe Alexis Farini as well, and 99 rated Cam would be insane. But I think we've got to go with a Conqueror, man, especially with how poorly Wrexham are doing. A 99 rated keeper might just be what we need. And there he is, 99 overall. overall, now it's just a question of what we're going to do with that 40 odd million. Well, first things first, guys, I want to change the formation, so I'm using the 4-3-3 attacking variation. Every time I've used it, it has done me justice, so hopefully it can help revive Wrexham. And we've already got our left winger too, because Ilias Anta, as you can see, can be played on the left. We just need to convert him to that position. But the 4-3-3 attack has no room for a CDM, so Nico Gonzalez will be sold in order to get ourselves a world-class right winger. And just like that, guys, he's out of the door. I'm pretty sure we've just got about 60 odd million for him. And that leaves us 105 million to spend on a world-class right winger to complete the team. And I can't think of anyone better than Rodrigo. 31, 91 overall. Ladies and gentlemen, he might just help us get the Champions League before this takeover is done. And there we go, 100 million on the dot later. Rodrigo now plays for Wrexham. And just look at this team now, man. Brand new tactics, world-class players up and down the pitch. I swear, if this season's a flop, I give up. Guys, I am beyond believed. We've finally qualified for the Champions League. And in actual fact, we literally almost won the freaking Prem. How Wolves won it and we didn't is beyond me, man. They don't have a 99 rated player, do they? And we still can't win the FA Cup. Bloody Arsenal knocked us out in the semis. But we did win the Carabao Cup. Oh my god, it has been years, and I mean years since we last won silverware. I don't know whether it's because we got Rodrigo in the team, a Conqueror 99 overall, or the fact we changed the formation and tactics. I don't care. The fact is we're finally on the right track with Wrexham. I mean, these stats tell you everything we need to know. Our front three got minimum 20 goals apiece. And Arthur Okonkwo got 21 goal contributions himself for a keeper, man. That just shouldn't be happening, should it? But guys, we've now only got one more year to turn this Wrexham side into the world's best club, but thankfully we've got that chance because we qualified for the UCL. And it looks like the team to beat is indeed Barcelona, guys. It's going to be a gigantic ask, but if that wheel is once again on our side, it might just happen. So let's see if it is the 10th and final spin of this wheel. Oh, that doesn't look good. Season ender. Your third best player is injured for the entirety of the season and don't make any signings to replace them. I mean, fair enough. I can't ask for the good ones all the time. There's literally only 2 left on the wheel. But our third highest rated player is Mo Fall, our best striker and one of the best strikers in the world right now. And because we can't make any signings, a retiring Zeki Amdouni is going to be playing in his place this season. Flipping fantastic. So here is a look at the team going into the 10th and final year of this takeover. I mean, despite Amdouni being up top, I've got high hopes that we can win a lot of trophies this year with these new tactics and the world-class talent that we've got around him. I'm especially hoping for success in the Champions League. I mean, this is our third takeover and up to this point we still haven't won the UCL. I'm also hoping to win the Prem, and right now it's looking good. 3 wins out of 3 undefeated. It's quite literally now or never, ladies and gents. We either step up to the occasion or we let the occasion get to us. Well, it looks like we're rising to the occasion. We are finally at long last the Premier League champions. I mean, it took us a full decade, but you know what? Better late than never. We still can't win the FA Cup though. Stoke City of all teams knocked us out in round 6. But we've won the Carabao Cup, once again beating Chelsea to do it. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm about to say this. We've won the double with Wrexham. And the treble is indeed on the cards as we are second in the league phase and we go through to the round of 16, where we just about make it to the quarters after beating Benfica. And we've smashed AC Milan in the quarters. And we're actually in the final playing Bayern Munich. Guys, this is literally our last chance to win the Champions League. It's officially all or nothing at this point. Can we finally win Wrexham the Oh my god, we've actually done it. Zeki Amdouni, Gillett, and who else? Amdouni with a brace for his last game of his career. We have won the Champions League. I am so beyond relieved, man. We've finally done it after a decade of trying. I mean, with how good our team is, I really shouldn't be surprised, but with how wacky this takeover's been, I wasn't taking anything for granted. But man, look at these stats. Ansett, Rodrigo, Miley, even Zeki Amdouni stepping up to the plate. Fair play to him. I'm just happy to say I won Wrexham the Champions League, man. There's no need to revisit Wrexham for quite a while now. As we end this 10-season takeover with Fall being our top goal scorer, Farina being our top assister, and we won 6 trophies in total. And that's where we're wrapping this video up, guys. If you have enjoyed and want to see more content like this, be sure to leave this vid a big old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button if you're new. No takeovers for a bit now. We're going to take a break from them, but when we return, it's the big team takeovers with the takeover wheel being at the helm. But if you are still here and you enjoyed this video, click right here because YouTube recommends you watch this.